This is Alexander Playtime Williams of PlaytimeCares.com. What's up, world? This is Alexander Playtime Williams of PlaytimeCares.com, giving you a Raw recap. This Raw happened on July 13th, 2015. It was in Atlanta, Georgia. You had JBL, Michael Cole, and Byron Saxton doing the commentary. Well, Raw kicked off with a recap of, once again, Lesnar destroying the Cadillac that Seth Rollins gave to J&J Security, as well as roughing up J&J Security. They started off with a recap of that from last Raw. Then, of course, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman came down to the ring, which inspired a whole bunch of Suplex City chants. Keep in mind that on Brock Lesnar's shirt, it says Suplex City. It got Atlanta, Georgia at the bottom of it, and it got that one of the Atlanta exits. So I'm sure they was excited about that. Um, they pretty much Paul Heyman pretty much lists the accomplishments of Brock Lesnar when he was the challenger in a big event. So that he pretty much saying that letting everybody know that Brock Lesnar would win the pay per view that would happen in 6 days at Battleground, and Seth Rollins and Kane decided to come down to the ramp, which inspired a whole bunch of Justin Bieber chants. Then Rollins said that Lesnar was pretty much a bully and a coward and whatnot for vandalizing the gift that he gave to J&J Security. And then he said he was going to burn Suplex City to the ground Sunday at Battleground. And Kane announced a contract signing for the pay-per-view, and that was going to be held later on tonight. That always let me know that they're trying to rest up talent when they actually have a contract signing, because it always goes the exact same way. They just filling out time at that point. So they started off the actual wrestling events with, I believe it was Ryback and Randy Orton versus Sheamus and Big Show with Miz on commentary, and they did a Raw recap of last month when Sheamus um, bro kicked Orton when Kane made the match a no disqualification match, and he came and interfered in the match when Kane and Orton had a match. And then they showed a Raw recap of last week when Randy Orton came to the ring after Sheamus won his match and gave him an RKO. So that was a decent match. Ryback was probably the surprise of the actual of all of Raw, actually, because he went to a whole bunch of aerial assaults. That was, you see a big guy doing that type of stuff. That's always good to see. And just when it looked like the Big Show was gonna win the match, the Miz got the mic and start interfering, doing all that extra talking. And even though the Big Show connected with a knockout punch on Ryback, the Miz was being so irritating. The Big Show just jumped off the ring and went after Miz. Miz ran to the back, and Sheamus tried to capitalize on a knockout punch, but hey, numbers game is at your disadvantage. Randy Orton RKO'd him, and Ryback actually ended the match with a splash, not a frog splash. He didn't look like Eddie Guerrero or nothing, but a splash from the top rope, and they ended the match like that. Decent match, Orton and Ryback won that one. It's about 7 out of 10. And then they went to the back and they showed Kane and Seth Rollins talking. And Kane was pretty much telling Seth Rollins, "Don't worry about the contract signing. I got it under control. I got a plan. Just trust me on this one." And the next match that they were showing was Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt, and they did a Raw recap of um, Bray Wyatt playing the mind games with Roman Reigns, causing him to get a count out victory because he thought he was attacking Bray Wyatt, but it really wasn't him. And then they did a Money in the Bank recap of Bray Wyatt actually screwing Roman Reigns out of getting that Money in the Bank briefcase. And Wyatt came out to the ring and about to start the match, and Roman Reigns just ran from out of nowhere, just started attacking him, just started whooping him. So I guess that was actually a no contest match. Didn't actually start. And then you had Alicia Fox and the Bella Twins, aka Team Bella. They came to the ring, and Nikki Bella was pretty much saying, "Look, I'm the champ. I'm a Diva champ. I've been a Diva champ for almost 300 days. This is 250 and some change. You know, Team Bella run the Divas division. So Stephanie McMahon comes to the ring and say, "Look, just for the record, I own the WWE and I run the Diva division. I own the Diva division." And he said, "Look, I'm gonna make some changes to the Diva division right now. Now, if you've been if you've been paying attention to what I've been saying week after week on when I post these things, and you look at what I type up, I say that they needed to expand the Diva division, possibly think about having a tag team division and everything with just them. You know, lightweight, heavyweight, all that type of stuff. Make it comparable to what the guys have, and they need to expand that Diva division." Well, Stephanie McMahon pretty much did that. She started calling out all these NXT competitors. She was saying, "Hey, Paige," Paige came out, and Steph was like, "Hey, Paige, I'm glad to see you. Nobody wanted to join your team. Well, I got some people for you." So she said, "Look, from NXT, we got Becky Lynch. She's down with Team Paige, and we got Charlotte. And for you that don't know, Charlotte is actually the daughter of Hall of Famer Ric Flair, and that busts out a whole bunch of NXT chants. And Naomi and Tamina came up. For those that don't know, Tamina is Hall of Famer Jimmy the Fly Snooker's daughter. They came in the ring, and it's like, "Hey, Stephanie, we still ain't go nowhere. We still trying to do our thing." Stephanie was like, "Look, I'm glad to see both of y'all because I got somebody to put on y'all team too. Because you look at it, you got Team Bella with 3 people. Then you got, I'm gonna label them Team Page. They have 3 people. Well, Team Naomi only had Tamina. Got the Samoan hookup. So and FYI, Naomi is married to Samoan. Jay Uso. Um, so Stephanie was like, "Look, I got you a team member too," and they brought out the NXT Women's Champ Sasha Banks. So everybody was excited about that. They start chanting, "This is awesome," and of course, All Out Brawl happens, and it actually turned good because all the NXT divas ended up putting Team Bella in submission moves in the middle of the ring. That inspired a whole new "This is awesome" chants, and Team Naomi and Team Paige pretty much got each other face while Team Bella rolled out the ring. So then the next thing you had was the New Day versus the Primetime Players and surprise third person Mark Henry. I mean, let me just go on record and say that's a big three to beat. You need the Big Show, Kane, and probably Ryback to really rival that team. But it was great action, great pace. Xavier Woods tried to do some aerial assault against Mark Henry, got caught midair. Boom, world's strongest slam, done. Match about an 8 out of 10. Then they did a Raw recap of Lesnar destroying the car and hurting J&J security again. They like showing that footage for some reason. So the next match was King What's Up versus King Barrett. Well, King What's Up is AKA R-Truth. And they did a Raw recap of Barrett went over R-Truth just last week. And this actually was like a quick match. And decent, but it was too quick. Yeah, and R-Truth actually got the win on Barrett. About a 7 out of 10 match. And R-Truth went under the ring and got his royal cape. He put it on. It was just a big towel, and got his royal scepter, which was a plunger, and put on like some makeshift Burger King hat, which irritated Barrett. So you then had a Raw recap of Dolph Ziggler getting destroyed by Rusev, while Lana only could watch. So it came down to the U.S. Open challenge by John Cena. He came to the ring, so did his thing and like, "Hey, let's get it going." Rusev come out, and he got his flag, everybody booing, USA chants, and he grabbed the mic, was like, "Look, if it wasn't for Lana, that weak blind Lana, I wouldn't even lost the U.S. title. So I'm about to get this belt back." Kevin Owens come out, was like, "Nah, nah, 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 nah. I'm the person that's gonna beat John Cena for the title." Cesaro comes down, and everybody just exploded. And Cesaro didn't say nothing. He just got in everybody's face. So John Cena backed out the ring, just smiling, and the other three just went at it. So that became the match for the number one contender uh, that night. You know, hey, you're gonna be tired, but at least you get your title shot. So you got Cesaro versus Kevin Owens versus Rusev for Summer Rae. Good pace, great showcasing the skills from all of those guys. And it's especially good to see somebody like Kevin Owens. Hell, he got a gut. He got a gut like me. And this dude doing some good stuff, man. I mean, every guy in this match had the advantage at some point. It was a really good back and forth match. Um, Kevin Owens just at one point was like, you know what, the hell with this. I got a pay per view match for the U.S. title no matter what. 6 days from now, screw y'all. He goes to the back. Everybody booing because it was a good match. And Cesaro and Rusev, they fight it out. And Rusev ended up actually getting a hard fought win. Match was about an 8 out of 10. So the next match is Rusev versus John Cena. And Rusev is tired. He's resting on his butt in a corner. He's like extra tired. And surprisingly, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be an easy win for Cena. But surprisingly, Rusev put up a really good fight and actually had John Cena in the accolade multiple times during the match, but got him in the middle of the ring and put that accolade on him. And John Cena was gonna have to tap. Kevin Owens ran out, boom, kick Rusev, put him in a pop up power bomb, and told John Cena, "Look, bro, I told you I'm the only person that's gonna beat you for this belt. This one has a lot of potential because you can write for that. WWE writers. I mean, you got Cesaro, Rusev, and Kevin Owens that don't like Cena, and then you have Rusev, Rusev, Cena, and Cesaro that doesn't like Kevin Owens. You can even write it into where Rusev and Cesaro start getting in each other ways, and you got a really good thing there. Cena has actually been looking better as of lately, so you can even keep him in the mix. I prefer you move him out because he's horrible, but I mean, it is what it is. So WWE writers, you really can do something with that one. The match, I believe, will be called a no contest. I wouldn't say John Cena won it by DQ, just no contest, and about 7 out of 10 for that match. So Seth Rollins came and found Kane again in the back. It was like, look, man, if this, whatever you thinking, you ain't telling me what you thinking, but whatever you thinking, if it don't work out against um, Brock Lesnar with his contract signing, man, it's on you, bro. Just letting you know that. And the next thing you saw the tough enough competitors on top of the stage. Then Hall of Famer Lita comes out. People clapped about that. A whole bunch of Lita chants. And she officially introduced all of the tough enough competitors. And out of all of them, ZZ actually got the most applause. So it looked like he might be around for a little bit because on Tough Enough, the viewers get to vote who they want to leave. So if ZZ puts up a decent fight every week, it looked like he might get that $250,000 contract. Um, then they showed Money in the Bank recap of Wyatt screwing over Roman Reigns for his chance to get the contract signing. Then last month, um, that was last month, and then they showed Reigns attacking Bray Wyatt um, tonight. So that was what happened. And then you had Stardust. He cuts a promo, against Neville. Just hyping up their match a little bit before they go out. So it was Stardust versus Neville. Surprisingly, a very slow paced match, back and forth action. And Stardust has actually got the win by holding down Neville tights in a roll up pin. Match was only about a 7 out of 10. So then you finally get to the last thing, which is the contract signing between Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. And, everybody automatically assume that it's going to be a combustible thing and they're going to flip over tables and hurt each other, yada, yada, yada. So Rollins says he's sick of seeing the footage of Brock Lesnar destroying the car. And, he said, let's show the footage of me destroying Brock Lesnar. So they showed that where, Kane and J&J Security unified again with Rollins and, they laid Lesnar out. So Rollins said he's not afraid of Lesnar and he gonna beat him at Battleground. And Lesnar come down to the ring with Paul Heyman, and he just got in the ring. No issues. Got in the ring. Went sat down, waiting for the contract to be signed. And Paul Heyman grabbed the microphone and said all the pressure is pretty much on Seth Rollins at this point because everybody want to see him lose. And that's inspired Suplex City chants, and both of them signed the contract. Then Brock Lesnar flipped over the table and looked at it and pulled out one of the kendo sticks, flipped the table back upright, put the kendo stick by Seth Rollins' side, and just sat at the table. So Seth Rollins went over there and picked it up, and then got his in a swing position. And Lesnar picked up the table and hit Rollins with it. Then he went and attacked Kane, and knocked him out of the ring, and he suplexed Rollins, and the fight went out, sprawled out to the outside of the ring, and at that point, the numbers game kind of got to Lesnar, and Kane and Rollins was able to, beat him up a little bit. Then Lesnar was able to fight back, and he F5 Kane and went after Rollins. Rollins ran through the crowd. So since Kane was still down from the F5, he moved him over to the steel steps, put his leg up on the top of the steel steps, got one of the steel steps, and I didn't mention it, but they did uh, throw Lesnar into the steel steps, so they brought the steel steps in the equation. So Brock Lesnar got the steel steps, put Kane's leg up there, pretty much hit his ankle and his foot with the steps, and part of his lower leg, and took Kane out. And then Lesnar and Heyman pretty much left. So Rollins come back to the ring, grab a microphone, and say that Brock Lesnar wasn't going to run, wasn't going to run him like he ran everybody else. That essentially that he was going to handle his business. And he say he gonna prove that Lesnar isn't as big as a beast as everybody think. He gonna beat him at Battleground. Then Rollins turns his attention to Kane and was talking about, you pretty much a loser and all that. Just a verbal assault on him. And then he said, this was your plan. It messed up. This all on you. You had a failed plan. So, this whole incident is on you. And then he ran off the steps and boom, did kind of like a curb stomp on Kane already injured leg, foot, ankle, that lower region of his leg. And that's how Raw went off to a whole bunch of boos of Seth Rollins. Hey, comment, tell me what you think. I know this one was long, but they had a lot of action because the pay-per-view is 6 minutes away. Let me know what you think about everything I said. Follow me on everything. It's always Playtime Cares. I even got a Periscope. Holla at me. You can even donate on the page if you want to. I'm gonna have a new format soon for my page. I'm looking at redesigning that to make it even easier for y'all to find stuff. Peace.